Welcome back, bosses. Why do I say it like that? Welcome back, bosses. I want to talk to you today about organizing your business so you can organize your mind so you can get some organized progress. I want to talk about why ClickUp is still the best project management tool in existence. I want to walk you through how I use it to organize my entire business, show you the different features that we use and the ones to really pay attention to. Go over the ClickUp pricing because that's probably one of the best parts, especially for small businesses, and basically show you how I let ClickUp do my thinking for me so that I've got more creative brain power to work on other things in my business and make more progress in way less time. If you're brand new here, I'm Tara Wagner, breakthrough coach and lifelong entrepreneur. I help my fellow entrepreneurs to master the mindset and the skills to up-level their business so they can crush their goals, not their soul. If that sounds like your jam, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and check out the other videos on my channel after this one. Let's jump into the ClickUp pricing right now, because if you're anything like me, you like to understand, okay, what's the price? Before I fall in love with it, am I gonna wanna pay for it? So let me walk you through how amazing ClickUp is, especially for small businesses. Number one, you can use ClickUp for free forever. This is going to be such a great tool for any solopreneur or any small business that's just getting started and they need to keep their overhead really low. Now, you're pretty much unlimited in a lot of different things, but not everything, right? So with the free forever plan, you've got 5 spaces that you're limited to. I'll explain the spaces and the hierarchy of organization in just a second. You've got unlimited tasks. You've got 100 uses of custom views. Trust me, you're probably not going to need it. The biggest limitation of this is the file storage, because if you want to upload anything to your tasks, that's going to start taking up space. So when you're ready to start actually using the full thing, it's incredibly inexpensive. It's one of the least expensive ones out there. So $5 per month per user, and you get unlimited everything. Now, here's the thing that I love about this. If you're a solopreneur and you don't have a full-time employee, you're not working with somebody who's working in every area of your business, but maybe you have some contractors, ClickUp actually has something called guests. And what guests can do is they can be in certain spaces or certain folders or lists within a space so they can work in your business. So let's say you contract out one area of your business, your video editing, your social media, something like that. You can have that person in that area and be able to manage those tasks without having to actually pay more for them. So I freaking love their pricing. I highly recommend that you get started with them because you want to be able to have something that can scale with you. And so it's great. It starts out great for small businesses, but it does scale into more and more features and into, the ability to bring on more team members as you're ready for it. Okay, so before I can walk you through how ClickUp is laid out, you need to understand the hierarchy. So I'm actually gonna share a clip from the last video that I did that explains what this hierarchy looks like, and then I'm gonna show you what it is inside of ClickUp now. So this is your workspace. Then you're going to have, within your workspace, you're going to have spaces. Think of spaces as departments. These are actually going to be set up as almost like categories, and I'm going to show you what this looks like in just a second. Within each space, you're going to have folders. This is where your projects are going to go in certain departments in your business. Then you have lists within each folder. So you can think of these like categories or organization of these projects. And then you have tasks on each list, and each list has subtasks. And then you can have as many spaces as you want. So here's what this looks like inside of ClickUp. I have spaces. My spaces have folders. My folders have lists, and my lists have tasks. And then you can also have a task that has subtasks in it. Okay, so let's walk through how to create a space. I'm going to click Add New, Add Space, and I am going to name it. Now you can go in and create all kinds of templates or look through the different templates, but honestly, this is still a little bit glitchy right now. This is a new feature that they have, and it is not working perfectly yet. So what I recommend doing, don't worry about that. Just create a new one. and just go through the steps. So you're going to pick a color, you're going to pick an icon. I don't know why I picked pizza. You're going to pick whether you want this to be public. So this is everybody in your team. If it's just you, then make it public. But if you want something private, for instance, we have private lists for personal and family stuff. We'll just go ahead and mark it private. You can share it with certain people. And so I'm going to share it with my husband. And then you can go through and you've either got the normal task statuses. So what this does is when you have a status on a task, it allows you to share whether or not that task is in progress, if it needs review, or if there's anything else that you might want to add to it. So you can see the different examples of this in here. We've also created one ourselves. So this shows us what part of the process that video is on. You can customize these yourself, but for now, let's just do the normal one. I recommend that you click all of these on simply because you may or may not need them. But oops, that one's a business one. We do not have the business setting. And then when it comes to views, you can decide which one you want. I'll show you these views, but again, you can go ahead and turn them all on if you want to. So now click review space. It's just going to ask you if everything's good. Click on create the space. Now what you see up here is the view. So if I want to go ahead and create a task, and then I want to go ahead and create a subtask. In that subtask, I'm going to add info to the description. Whoops. And I'm going to do a checklist on this one. So 1, 2, 3. You can also do the checklist up here. Oops, 1, 2, 3. You can assign these subtasks out. You can assign the main task out. You can set due dates. You can set it to recur on a schedule, when it's closed, when it's done, weekly, custom. Literally, your options here are pretty much limitless. You can track the time. You can do an estimated time. You can, I don't use the sprint points. You can do all kinds of different things. You can duplicate this task if you want to. Depending on the settings or the account that you have, you can set dependencies. So this task won't come due until another task is done. Literally, the options are limitless. There's so much you can do with these. So now we have one list, but let's go ahead and create a folder in this list. So folder 1, and it comes with a list in it. So it's the same thing with this one. You can create multiple. If I then want to go into that folder and create additional lists, I can do that as well. And when I click on the folder, I can see all of the lists. Then you can go into board view. So this makes it a little bit like Trello. If you are partial to Trello and the layout of Trello, you like the idea of like sticky notes and a bulletin board, you can have that within here. You can also do a box view. This is going to be a business feature. It's not something that we've ever really seen a need for. You can do a calendar view where you sit down and you look at, okay, what are all the things on the calendar? Let me actually show you an idea of what this looks like. If I add a calendar view here, I can go through and see what tasks are scheduled when and to who. But I want to show my subtasks to be able to do that, right? So this is just going to show you everything that you have going on within that space. So it gets really, really granular. You can do a lot of different things with it. You've got Gantt, which is again, something I don't use. Timeline, activity. If you want to see, you know, who's doing what and when, what's been happening in that space, it gives you that overview. You can see workload. So if you've got team members, you can see who's doing what. You can do a mind map. You can do a table. You can literally on and on and on. You can do so many different things with this. Now, that is one of the drawbacks to ClickUp. You can do so much with it, but that means that it's complex and the learning curve can be steep if you're trying to do everything. So I don't recommend that. I recommend that you create one space, you put some folders in that space, you put some lists in, you put some tasks in, and slowly over time, you build your spaces out. The more you try to do in the beginning, the more overwhelmed you're going to be. You can't do everything. You won't be able to learn everything, so you really just want to figure out what's going to be the most useful for me. One thing that I do want to show you on this is the tray option. This allows you to minimize the task so that you keep it handy in your tray at all times. So we have some where they're just kind of idea collectors, and I like to keep them handy so I can pop them in really easily. A little tip that I have for you is in your bookmarks, actually bookmark your inbox. So when you click on home, you're going to see your inbox. This is going to show you what you're doing today, what's overdue, what's next, or anything that's unscheduled. Our unscheduled stuff is like reminders, tasks, notes, things that we're going to be working on down the road, or a lot of templated tasks. So like our YouTube tasks, those are all templates that are already assigned to us so that when we duplicate that task, assignees are already on it. From your main to-do list, your main inbox, you can also actually go through and manage all of the tasks from here. So you can click things, you can close things, you can do anything you need to do from those tasks, change the due date, delegate this to somebody else. All of your tasks that you're working on that day can be accessed and managed from your inbox. You can also look at comments that have been assigned to you. You can look at what you've done and what you've delegated. Now, one of the things that I have found to be another drawback with ClickUp is that sometimes it gets a little laggy. And I think that's because as they're creating and updating new things, they are also updating the backend system of it to make sure it runs properly. And so every once in a while, we'll have a week where things are just really slow, and then it tends to sort itself out. It's not always slow. Sometimes it's freaking amazing, but it is something to keep in mind that it can be a little bit of a headache when it's not thinking as fast as you want it to think. So this is where I spend the majority of my time, because when I set up a project in a space, a folder, a list, I set up all the tasks, I sign everything out, then I don't have to think about it. Everything is done. I've set a couple hours aside to get it organized, get it scheduled out, so that when I come in on a Tuesday, all I'm doing is looking at my tasks for that day. This means I'm not having to do a lot of figuring out. I can get in and just get things done. So this is where I spend most of my time in ClickUp. The next place I spend most of my time is in my notifications. You can see your new and your cleared notifications. And this is anything that you are either watching or anything that you have been tagged in or is assigned to you. All of these notifications will pop up here. And so this just allows you to communicate with your team, or you can have notifications that will pop up and remind you to do things as well. I have most of those turned off. The only notifications I have are if somebody tags me, asks a question, or does something and I'm watching that task to make sure that something's being done or to give feedback on something. Those are the only ones I have set up. Hot tip, go into your notifications first. Go through everything and turn off the things that you don't want, because literally there's a notification for everything and it becomes really cumbersome to go through, and it's really easy to miss important stuff when it's buried in unimportant stuff. So let's talk about spaces versus dashboards. A space is going to be where you're collecting your folders, your lists, your tasks. A dashboard's a little bit different than that. What a dashboard does is allow you to kind of get a snapshot view of whatever you put in that dashboard. So let me show you our YouTube dashboard that we just set up. This is going to show us all of our tasks in progress. We also have a place that we've put important links. So anything that we need to access on a regular basis, we have right here. Trainings that we go through for YouTube, we have those right here. This one obviously needs to be linked up. And then workload. So this is who's doing what within this dashboard. And then we also have chat. This is really cool because if you're using something like Slack or you're using some sort of messaging system for your team, you can actually have those within each space and also put it in your dashboard. So this allows you to message back and forth with the people in that space or to tag people and be able to keep your communications in the same place that you're keeping all of your projects. ClickUp Pulse is where you can get a pulse on your team, who's doing what, the time that's being spent, when they're working, and so on. It's a little bit slow to load. And what I've noticed with it is that you can see who's online. You can, obviously it'll show you who's offline, but it will also show you the users, but it won't show you who those users were. So if I show that there were 2 people working, let me show you for instance, it is very slow to load. Oh my gosh. This is one of those things that they still need to optimize. I love this program, but that doesn't make it perfect. Let me find a good example. Jiminy Christmas. Come on, ClickUp, work with me here. So when it shows more than one person online, it will show you how many were online, but it won't show you who those people were. So that's kind of a drawback of the Pulse. I do think, though, this is a new program or a new feature that they've added. I think it'll get better over time. Okay, and then we have goals. Now, I'm not going to walk you through my goals because they're kind of personal, but I do want to show you how to set up goals because they're freaking cool. So let's say you want to set a goal and you want to make it 2021. We're going to call it magic. And you're going to make yourself the owner, maybe somebody else who has access to the goal. Let's just say it's private. Is there a goal date? So let's do this, and then you can add any description here you want. What I like to do is add my why. Why is this goal important? Why now? Why am I excited to do this? What's the impact? What's the benefit? How is this going to help people? You really want to put something there. You can put anything there you want, but I like to put something there that's going to remind me and keep me motivated as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. But for now, we're just going to go blah, 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 because I don't have the time to write all that in. Okay. So then you have your goal. Now what you want to do is create a target within that goal. And you can do this in a couple different ways. So let's say you have a financial target of $100,000. Okay. You can choose the owner. So if you've added other people to this, you can actually assign that to them. So this is going to be a number. The target is 100,000. And oops, we want currency. And we're going to hit OK. So now what this is going to do is it's going to help you to measure this goal. So let's say in January, you did 12,375. You're going to increase by that number. So now it's going to show you your percentage to that goal, your 12% to that goal. So now let's say in February, you made 5,431 and it's increasing. It's going to do the math for you. And so now you are 17% percentage to the, what am I trying to say? 17% of the way to the whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's going to help you to track these goals. So this is really fun because it's kind of like the sticker chart, or remember the chart in school where you'd fill the thermometer up? It gives you that sense of satisfaction because you can actually see the progress stacking as you go. You can do this with any number of goals. You can have number goals, true or false goals, and even tasks. So let's say we want to do a task goal. We want to add a list to this goal. And so we're going to add in the folder, we're going to add list 1, and we're going to set OK. What this now allows me to do is when I go in and I finish these tasks, so I'm going to mark them complete, or you can also mark them complete from here. When I go back into my goals, I just got a little thing, I reached the goal. So it's going to show you now that you've hit 100% of this goal. So this is just going to give you your overall percentage based on multiple targets that you have. So if you watch the video that I did on objective goals, on outcome goals, performance goals, process goals, all of that, you can create those goals, set them up in here, and allow yourself to track them. It's a really, really fun way to make some progress, see your progress, and keep yourself motivated. Okay, so we got to talk about their app. Last year, their app was a disaster, pretty much unusable. This year, it's amazing. So let me show you how it works. So on the home screen of the app, you can see your different favorites that you've added. So if you have something that you're working a lot on, you can add that to the top. And then you're going to see your to-do list for the day, anything overdue, what you're working on next, and anything without a due date, just like you do in the inbox on the desktop. You can also go through and look at all of your spaces. You can look at any docs that you have, any favorites that you've added. You've got your notifications in here, so you can go in and talk with people. You can look at the overview of the task that you're looking at. You can go to the main parent task to look through and see where that's at. And then the subtasks for it are at the bottom, and you can go through and see all of the subtasks and the due dates on them. You can also go to the comments of that section, or if you want to go backwards, you just hit the back button. It's super easy to use, super simple, and it's easy to search as well. So let's say I want to search Facebook and I want to look at tasks, and it's going to show me completed tasks as well as incomplete tasks. I do wish that it would let you filter these a little bit better. Usually when I'm searching for a task, I'm not searching for something that's already done. So that is one little drawback, but the app is new and they are working on it, so it will get better. I have no doubt about that. Then if you click this one in the middle, you can either set a new reminder. That's not something that I use a lot of, but my assistant actually uses it quite a bit. And you can create a new task. So task name, let's put it under test. I'm going to assign myself as the assignee. I'm going to go ahead and do the due date. And if I want to drag this up, I can change the location, the priority, add tags to it, add subtasks. Basically, you can do just about everything in the app that you can do on the desktop. This makes it really super handy when you're on the go or when you need to quickly check something. It's a really fast way to get into what you need most without having to go down the rabbit hole of actually getting online. Okay, so this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to ClickUp. It's an amazing tool. You can start off free. You can make it do anything you want it to do. But again, go slow. Don't try to figure all of it out. Figure out the pieces that are going to make the most sense for you. Set a timer for an hour, go in, poke through, have fun with it, and start getting things set up so that you can free up that mental space, focus on what needs to get done, and not be thinking about all the millions of pieces in your business every single moment of every single day. If you want to test it out, be sure to use the affiliate link in the description. Grab the free account, test it out, see if it's going to work for you before you upgrade. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up, drop me a comment below to let me know what you think of ClickUp, and check out the other videos on my channel as well. Fist bump in the comments if you made it to the end of this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. I'm going to kill that stinking Roomba.